Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Rich Report. You are now about to experience a close encounter of the indigenous kind. So open your mind, tune in, and let's dialogue. It happens now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Rich Report, sponsored by African Americans Ain't African, and broadcast live on Blog Talk Radio in stereo, baby. You know what? Tonight, we're going to talk about the Black Panther, the movie, the character, and even the animal. That's right. You know what I'm talking about, Black Panther fans. I know you're waiting, right? No, but seriously, I know a lot of people are excited over the film, and, hey, I myself plan on going to see it tomorrow. The movie could make an impact, but not to the extent or the level that some, particularly those African Americans, are thinking. But it could make an impact. I think, if anything, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But first, I'm going to hit the mailbag. You know, we're about halfway through Black History Month before I hit the mailbag, right? And I got to say, I'm enjoying this Black History Month, guys, more than I ever have previously anyway. And that's mainly because of the information that a lot of the members in the 4A group are sharing with everyone, right? It's great. Getting a lot of information out there. And like I said before, we need to hijack this month and get our indigenous Aborigine heritage out to the masses. And I think we're taking a large step in that direction this month. And, of course, we do it every month, every day of the year, of course. But, you know, this is the month where Black History Month is important because those who really ain't interested are interested in February. You know what I'm saying? That's when all of a sudden we start putting the dog ears up and you know, and we can hear the dog whistle all of a sudden. Even though it's actually a police whistle, we tend not to hear it every month but February. So that's the reason why this month is important. So, yeah, keep doing your thing, peeps. Keep doing your thing. Let's keep pushing. All right. Now let's get back to the mailbag, shall we? Come on. Let's do it. Hey, quite a few of you hit me up this week, and I love it. So let's get started. Shall we? Let's do it, guys. You bet your ass to gotcha. All right. This one comes from Andy, who writes, I saw you going back and forth with some folks on another page about slavery. I noticed they tried to make you a conspiracy nut, and they tried to clown you. Why do you think they disagreed with you so much? Oh, Andy. Sorry, Andy Griffith reference there, but I think you're talking about, I was on, this sister tagged me for some other stuff. Actually, she tagged me about the Black Panther movie and how I could make an impact without the political BS and blah, blah, blah. And I tried to get them to understand it. The political part was already there, but the creation of the character, because, well, we'll get into that. But I also put out the point of, they were talking about, you know, after going through slavery so bad and woe is me and yes, Massa and Chicken George and Kizzy and all that shit, that they were, you know, making this about, that this is a great day of Jubilee, like Juneteenth or some shit. And I told them that slavery wasn't to the extent, all I said was slavery was not nearly to the magnitude that it's propagated to be. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Again, if there were only maybe 5 million slaves tops, 5 million tops, as opposed to those 12 million or 15 million, and now I'm hearing there were 20 million slaves, African slaves, all rampant through America, you know, picking cotton and everything else, man, getting bitten by boll weevils and all this. All right, 5 tops. 5 tops. That's the records. 5 tops. Okay, if that's the case, I asked the question. If you only had 5 million slaves, 4.5 really, but let's say 5, let's round it off. What happened to the other 7 million Africans? What, did they form a basketball team? Did they become like Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars? Were they the Globetrotters? Did they have like a national, they traveled to cities where they outpicked cotton for white folks or outpicked slaves or some other shit? What happened to them? and none of them could answer the question, as you know, Andy. And the reason why they disagreed with me so was because most of them are just indoctrinated with education. Most of the people who chimed in were all, one dude was from the Black Liberation Movement. Good luck with that one, buddy. And most of them were college educated. And again, education is indoctrination. It's used to miseducate you. A big problem that we had among those who became educated, right? And by educated, I don't mean learning to read and write. We were already doing those things beforehand anyway. It was just in our language. But one of the problems with education, particularly the higher up in scale education that you go, let's say secondary education, college, a lot of our elders who went to college and then would come back home, grandma is still there, running the roost, right? Mama's there, papa's there, brothers and sisters are all there, and they still going by the ways of their culture, of their indigenous culture. Okay, that college-educated person then starts to turn their nose up at them as though they are uncivilized, they are uncouth. I've seen this happen. I saw my daughter's mom call her grandmother, who was born in, 1903, call her ignorant. She's just stupid and ignorant because she said she wasn't no African. She was Creole, actually. She was from New Orleans. That's where her family migrated from. And she would say all the time that they had Indian in the family, although she wouldn't particularly say which tribe. But, again, there was a gag order on a lot of people in the South about coming out with that, and a lot of cruel things were actually done. A lot of us don't quite understand that a lot of those public hangings that you saw, those public lynchings, were not random, a lot of it. They weren't random at all. They just didn't randomly pick out someone. A lot of the times they picked out who they would consider someone who was a troublemaker, who they caught out of pocket, caught in town, didn't have anybody with them, and they would pick that person out. My ex, her grandmother actually told me of one of those situations, and she saw it as a little girl, and man, it burned a picture in her mind that she never shook loose from, never did. So I understand why she didn't do it, but those who become educated like that, they dismiss any outside knowledge other than that what they got in the classroom. That's why your so-called teachers are called instructors. Instructors don't teach you anything. Instructors tell you what they want you to know, and how dare you to basically go against them, speak out against them. You don't do it. So that's the reason why they were coming at me the way they were coming, and then trying to do it intellectually at that, Gabriel, show some integrity here, everybody. You know nothing about slavery. Yet not one of those mofos could answer just the 3 questions I gave them. Not one. Not one could. Not one. One tried and embarrassed himself and then backtracked. So that's the reason why, Andy. And again, you can check it out for yourself, but you'll find there's a big difference between slavery and colonialism. We've all been colonized. Not all of us were slaves. Most of us were not slaves. Being marginalized and basically, having and have been driven off of your land, having your food supply taken away, where you now have to get out here and work for someone else and sharecropping, things of that nature is not the same thing as being a slave. So yeah, you're not going to reach them. And again, they're going to send the educated idiots out at us first. They will be the first ones who will be attacking us. You can best believe that. Just like they attacked me in there. And the wild part is, when I started slinging arrows back, then all of a sudden, hey, you can't come on my page and say blah, 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 blah. Hey, they said it. And Trick, you tagged me. I don't even know you. So, it is what it is, Andy. All right. Let's get to the next one, shall we? This one comes from Morris. Morris, huh? Okay, interesting. I hope you're not a cat. Okay, I just had to put that in there, Morris. Okay, Gabriel, I take offense with your on white women, brother. Love sees no color. And And what is it? Love sees no color. And what are you saying here, Mars? Okay, I get love sees no color. Oh, and love chose my woman. Oh, really? Love chose it? You didn't have nothing to do with that shit, Mars. She just happened to be white. And I remember you on your show saying that you've been there before with white women. So aren't you a bit hypocritical? No, Mars, I'm not. Because I ain't wife one. I mean, honestly, for me, it was curiosity. It was never intrigued. And there's a difference between being intrigued by someone and being curious about someone. Once your curiosity's piqued, you move the fuck on, Mars. You stay. And if I remember correctly, Mars, I know what group you're in, and I know what you're talking about. And I didn't get out here and say all white women are trashy-ass, heifer-ass, savage human, half-human hoes. I just said that, hey, you're thinning out your bloodline. And actually, I'm going to have a show on this next week, Mars, just on this very subject about the whitewashing of the Negro. Hey, that's your deal. Hey, go get them. Go to town, brother. Go to town. If you like how they smell when they come out of the shower, that is your deal, buddy. I ain't mad at you, but love does see color, Mars. Let's not be stupid. And that's the problem with a lot of you girls who love white women, all right? And some of you sisters, too, because some of y'all are some behind-the-scenes loving white boys. You just don't want to be seen out in public with them unless they got money. All right, here's the deal, Mars. Love sees color because you see it. You saw that chick was white. All right, and I saw you post your picture up and the whole nine, and I also see how she pretty much puts you through the paces. She throws tantrums. She throws stuff at you by your own admission, Mars. You get more drama and you were the same one saying you're not with a sister because they give you drama. But white women created drama. When you see sisters giving drama like this shit you see on TV, they are doing nothing emulating white women. All right, and I know you're catching it. I can look at your white woman and tell you're catching it. But if you want to get through that, you want all the drama that goes with it just so you can see your Becky naked at night, I ain't mad at you, dude. Actually, you're probably doing a sister a favor because you clearly got some self-hate issues, Mars. The way you talk down on sisters. You kind of actually disgust me, Mars, to be honest with you. So with that said, I won't take too much time with you. And Mars, when I get back on that page, and right now, I'm going to tell you the same thing. Go fuck yourself. All right, we'll move on. And I really mean that, Mars. Mars, I would rather befriend the cat, befriend you, Mars. But that's just me. And what are you doing listening to my show if that's the case, Mars? What do? You listen to the show just to poke and prod? What? What's up? But keep listening. It helps the numbers. All right. This last one comes from Shay, who writes, Gabriel, I saw your Sanford and Son video with Lamont being an African on your page. I don't quite understand the point you're making, so could you explain? Well, I sure could, Shay. It's pretty simple. Matter of fact, how about we do this? How about we listen to it together, right? I'm quite sure you guys have seen this. I posted in 482, and Tyrone Street actually has a great video about the same subject. I see Tyrone's video before I posted it, and then bang, when I did, I saw his video and I went and I checked it, and so I had to put Tyrone out there, even though his feet smell like corn chips. All right, here we go. Let's check out this clip of Sanford and Son, African Lamont.
Now, before you make any smart remarks, maybe I better explain something to you.
You don't have to explain nothing to me. But I tell you, if you walk down the street and some guy's following you, you better walk fast.
I knew you was going to have something smart to say about it.
I mean, what should I say when my son comes home wearing a dress? Next thing, you be wearing pantyhose. Like on that commercial. Our legs fit your legs. They hug you, they hold you, and never let you go.
This is not a dress. This is a dashiki. A dashiki is a traditional African shirt for men.
To me, it looked like a traditional dress for a woman.
Well, that's because you've been conditioned to judge everything by Western standards. And I suppose there ain't no use in me trying to enlighten you.
I don't need to be no lighter. That enlightening stuff went out with Concoline hair straight. If your hair is short and nappy, Concoline will make it happy.
don't want to know nothing, so I'm not going to try to tell you nothing.
Listen, what you said the name of this thing is a duck shaker?
A dashiki.
Well, it looked like a mattress cover to me. How much you pay for it?
$13.
$13. You paid $13 for a cotton blouse?
Hey, Pop, this is a genuine import. It came all the way from Africa.
I don't care if it came from Haile Selassie's closet. It ain't worth no $13.
Man, what's the use? Man, the whole world would come to an end before you'd even begin to understand anything.
Well, I can understand this. This ain't worth no $13. You pay $13 for a cotton blouse with no sleeves in it. Listen, Lamont.
And don't call me by that slave name either.
What kind of name?
Slave name. The name of a slave that was handed down to him by a slave master.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what my name used to be.
Your name has always been Lamont Sanford. Ever since I can remember. Your name is Lamont Sanford. You were named after Lamont Lomax. He pitched 46 scoreless, no hit, no run innings in 1932. And he wasn't pitching for no slave master. He's pitching for the homestead grave.
Look, now, I know that, Pop, but see, now I've taken a new name to...
Okay. I'm quite sure you guys have seen this episode before if you are Sanford and Son fans like I am, right? Okay. It's pretty simple. Now, even though Red Fox was only about 50 years old when he made Sanford and Son, of course, he was portraying himself to be a much older man, about 65 or so years old. That would place him being born around the early part of the 1900s, right? Actually, Red Fox was born in the early part of the 1900s, 1922. But let's take 20 years off of that, all right? So he's born around 1901, 1903, 1902, somewhere around that way. Okay, a man born in that time period knew of his Indian ancestry to some degree, and there certainly won't no African thing mentioned during that particular time. So when Lamont's coming up, yes, it was a good skit, Keith. I agree. Okay, so from that time period, right, there wasn't anybody talking about any Africans. And I can tell you this just from my own home with my big mom and big dad. My big dad was born in 1904. My big mom was born in 1908. They weren't talking no African stuff. And when the time came where we started, wearing dashikis and all this other stuff, they used to look at the kids funny too. Boy, these young people, they're crazy these days, right? Now they didn't come out and necessarily clown. And even though they didn't share their history of what we were, or some did, some didn't. Even the ones that didn't, you couldn't get them to say that they were an African. Now, this is just a TV sketch. This is just a sketch, but still, all right, little did we know back then, we just saw it as comedy, right? And you have to understand the context of it, right? This is when they were making the push for us to be of African descent, African slaves, all this other stuff. This was supposed to be our coming out, our pride time. I mean, okay, I was born in 1966. I was born really at the beginning of the Black Power movement, right? So, but even as a kid, we didn't start talking the African stuff until the 70s. The 70s. So the clip is indicative of the times, because a guy like Fred, who, again, he was about 65 or so years old, the character, there was no African talk. There was no African talk whatsoever, right? And Lamont later on in the clip says, okay, I'm going to find my roots in Africa, my homeland, and this and that. And Fred said, I left my homeland some 30 years ago. And he said, what, is that when your family came from Africa? And he said, no, that's when I left St. Louis. I mean, they always knew that this was our home. They always knew. The whole Africa thing in the early 70s, late 60s, really in the late 60s, early 70s is when it started big time with the whole Black Power movement deal. It all coincided. That was new to our elders. They didn't know anything about no Africa. I told you, my grandmother, after we saw roots, on night, and I said, God, Grandma, Big Mom, God, just think about it. We from Africa. She said, looked at me, and she honestly, she wanted to give me the backhand. She gave me the eye, and the backhand was coming if I had kept up talking like that. And she pretty much told me, ain't from no Africa, from right here. Don't let that TV fool you, boy. And that was it. Now, she didn't go into detail, but now that I'm older, I get what she's saying. And now that I'm older, I get the sketch. I think we all do now. We were caught in the times then. Most of us were kids when we watched it, but now we get it. We get it. Oh, and also keep in mind that Red Fox, his mother was a Seminole, so he would know, and he co-wrote that particular sketch. By the way, he co-wrote that show. So yeah, hopefully, Shay, you get what's been. I explained it enough to you in the show that the difference in the fact that we just didn't embrace this. Our elders didn't embrace this whole African thing. Our elders didn't embrace it with Garvey either. They actually fell more into the whole deal of black or Negro empowerment, economic empowerment. That's what really got their attention. It wasn't the Africa stuff. It wasn't the Africa stuff at all. I talked with a few elders, people who are now in their 80s, 90s, who, the impact of Garvey was still being felt, and they didn't give a shit about any of that. They didn't care anything about that. And to this day, you ain't going to make them say that they're African. Hopefully I explained it, Shay. All right. We are going to take a quick pause with the cause, people, and come back and talk some Black Panther. Isn't it going to be great? You bet your ass to gosh it is. So get that bathroom break in, grab that beer or a tote, and we'll be right back. And just so you guys know, you're all incredible. Be right back. Welcome back, fam. And for those who want to know, that was Chocolate with Incredible. Love that song. Love that song. Amazing artist. Amazing song. Okay, so as we all know, the Black Panther film will be premiering nationwide officially tomorrow. Although there's a late showing tonight, and I know a few people that'll be checking it out. I think it's a midnight showing tonight here, and I know a few people who are going. Now, let me right off the bat say I have no criticism of anyone that's going to see the Black Panther movie. I've been looking forward to this myself since I saw the Black Panther appear in Captain America Civil War some 18 months ago, right? Let me give you guys a little backstory here, all right? As a kid, my brother and I, we used to collect comic books. And by collect, I mean we had just about all of them. So much so that kids from neighborhoods and from other parts of town would come by to trade with us. They would trade comics with us. You know, everybody knew that me and my brother, and again, now in the group, my brother's William Anthony Rich. He's my actual brother, my older brother, all right? We'd trade with kids. Everybody knew that we had comic books. Everybody knew it. So somebody would come over to say they wanted to see a particular issue that they say didn't get, right? Because comic books came out every Tuesday, and every Tuesday we were right there getting them, right? So some kids would come over and say if they missed that issue and it flew off the, you know, if it flew off the shelf, they would come over and read ours. Now, they couldn't take that with them, of course. Now, you know, we were right there, but still, everybody knew that my brother and I mean, we had them by the boxes. We kept our comic books under the bed, man, under our bed, and we had a damn sure a lot of them. My brother would collect certain comic books. Thor was him. Let's say the known comic books like Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, stuff like that. He would collect, and even the lesser known ones now, say like Son of Satan. I don't know if you guys ever remember that one or not. Of course, he collected Doctor Strange. It was Damien Hailstorm, Son of Satan. That was a real good one. And, you know, from the well-known characters to the not so well-known, the Defenders, stuff like that. That was my brother. Iron Man, of course, popular. He collected that one. Myself, I would collect stuff like the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the Black Panther. So I had pretty much the first issue of the Black Panther. I had every issue of the Black Panther up until I was about maybe 14 years old, up until about 1980, right? So me, my brother, we've been kind of, and millions of other people I've been talking to, and of course, millions of other people, because Black Panther had a large following, because at one time he was the only brother out there. You know, first came the Black Panther in 1966, then came the Falcon in 1969, all right, and then came Luke Cage. Now, consider that the Black Panther and both the Black Panther and Falcon didn't have any superpowers. We were just happy to see them because they looked like us. Luke Cage was another story, but even then they made him a convict. So, you know, but we didn't give a damn about that either. We were happy to see somebody in comics that looked like us that we were collecting. I mean, of course, you want to see, you know, your image, right? So, yeah, we've been waiting for this film to come out. I'm quite sure me and millions of other people, we've been waiting for this film to come out since the 70s for me, right? So, okay, but in saying that, however, I'm not so caught up that I'm lost in the sauce over this movie, right? You got a lot of African Americans in particular that consider the Black Panther film as a black movie, you know. Some even think that it's the beginning of nation building between us, like a 2-hour movie is our Negro wake-up call. Now, I don't know about any of that. I'm just curious to see the movie, and that's really about it. All right? I can say, however, that there are some positives that can be taken from the movie, just as there is from the comic book. But, again, let me say, overall, the Black Panther comic and movie is based on a lie that began in 1966 when it came out. All right? That was the year that it was also the year that the Black Panther Party came out. And the comic book, or the introduction of the Black Panther, was just a few months before the Black Panther Party, right? Okay, the characters created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, who were somewhat under pressure to create a Negro superhero at this time. Let me say that they created a lot of white heroes and villains based on Negroes, who they just whitened out. Say, for an example, the X-Men, Negroes. Charles Xavier and, say, Magneto are nothing more than Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. One had a larger following. One had, one was considered somewhat of a renegade, although more powerful. Actually, both were powerful. One was mental, while the other one possessed the ability to harness, any mineral and turn it into a weapon. But they're based on Martin and Malcolm. Stan Lee admitted this some years later, which wasn't a shock or surprise to me, to be quite honest with you. All right. And you also have to keep in mind that both Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, well, they're Jewish, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, Stan Lee's real name, Stanley Martin Lieber, right? And I do believe that Stan was a Romanian Jew. Jack Kirby, who is, Jack's real name is Jacob Kurtzberg, and he is an Austrian Jew. So you've got this comic book team that were pretty much, and if you go and you check, you'll find that most of your comics at that time, they started Marvel Comics in like the 40s, right? Late 30s, 40s, or 40s. You'll find that most of the creators of Superman, all these guys, most of them were Jews. Okay, so 1966, climate was changing, political climate, cultural climate, social climate, everything was changing. They're under pressure to create a Negro hero, right? Okay, so they came with the invention of, hey, let's do the Black Panther. This guy, and we'll call him the Black Panther. Okay, all right. I showed you guys, for those who didn't see, you can either go to my page or you can go to Reggie Parkinson's page, the one that he put up about Jaguars today, right, which was very interesting and insightful, right, about what the Black Panther originally looked like. Check out his costume. Check out his face, right? He looks like Montezuma. He looks, and I don't think that's by coincidence that he looks like Montezuma. Before they put a mask on him, and they changed his costume to just that of a Black Panther, a Black Jaguar. Okay, so I remember it was about 92, something like that. I was in Oakland, California, East Oakland to be exact, for all you Bay Area peeps. East 14th and about maybe 68th Street. There used to be this comic book store, and I used to go in there on a weekly basis to check out and buy comic books, because they had the comic books from the late 60s, early 70s in there, and I would read through them and pick the ones out that I wanted. And there used to be this white guy who used to come in and I used to talk to. I was in my early 20s, so he had to be in his early 50s, right? And he told me then, because I picked up a copy of this astonishing, or I think it wasn't Astonishing Tales. Actually, I put the issue on my page. It was, yes, Tales of Suspense. And it's the one where the Black Panther and Captain America are locking up. All right? I bought that particular issue that day. And this guy told me then, right? He told me then. He said, I can tell you now. But and he was Jewish. Okay, and he told me, he said, I can tell you now, but originally the Black Panther wasn't an American, wasn't an African guy. He said originally he was supposed to be an American guy. He was supposed to be either from the deep south of North America or Central America, right? And they had to change his name. They had to change him up. So I asked him why, and he said, well, let's just say that they were persuaded, right? And he said, and for being persuaded, they received a nominal sum of money to help them, Marvel Comics out, because Marvel really wasn't doing the greatest at that time. They were still kind of afloat financially, but they weren't financially solvent. So, okay, I didn't just dismiss this dude, oh man, this dude crazy. He made sense, because reading the comic book as a kid, well, something didn't jive even as a kid when I read it. All right? Okay, so turn the clock to maybe 3 years ago, about 3 years ago, I was talking with this brother who happens to work for Marvel Comics, right? Still works there, so I ain't going to call his name because, you know, he likes to eat just like the rest of us. Okay, he tells me the same thing, but he breaks it down to me. We were talking about the movie, you know, this time he was supposed to appear in the Captain America, and we were talking about that, and he said, well, you know, I'm going to tell you, bro, but, you know, I'm telling you this, but, you know, just don't go out here and attach my name to it. He said, but the story is that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby or Marvel Comics was paid a visit by a representative of one of the letter organizations, probably the FBI, probably, or one of their offshoot organizations. Let's put it that way. All right, and they knew about the pressure that they were under to create a Negro character. Everybody did because Marvel Comics had a mailbag. So if you read the mailbag, and they always answered the mailbag, so everybody knew what was out there. So he told them that under no uncertain terms do we want this character to be a Negro. You can make the next one a Negro, but you cannot make this particular guy a Negro. Now, keep in mind that it had already come up to name the Black Panther, right? They weren't going to change that. And, again, you also have to understand something about comic books, particularly Marvel. Those guys, in order to be in Marvel, you have to fact check, particularly with your science, all right, your mathematics and history. You can't just be putting some crazy shit up saying that this is science, you know, that, you know, you can just float upside down and, you know, and your snot will float or some crazy shit. You can't do it. It's one, it's inaccurate, and two, you'll get clowned for it. No one would take you seriously. And three, Marvel Comics at that time weren't made for kids. They were made for adults. Kids read them, which, by the way, bolstered our vocabulary. Wouldn't you agree, guys? All you comic book guys, would you say that with comic books bolstered your vocabulary? I know it certainly did for me. But, okay. And for that, they received a sum of about $2 million, which in 1965, 66, that's a lot of money. Okay. And after that, they never financially struggled again for another 15 or so years until Stan Lee lost his mind and tried to take over the comic book world. But that's another story for another day that we'll probably never discuss because it's not important. All right, but, okay. So, they had already created the Panther. They had already created Wakanda. They had already created these things. He was particularly supposed to be an American around, say, from Central America, the top of Central America, right? Thus, the original costume, thus, the original look. Looks like Montezuma. T'Challa came after they had to change his name. The original name for the Black Panther was Luke Charles. It's a name that he actually used. He used all throughout the 70s comics. The Black Panther was a teacher, even though he was the leader of this nation, Wakanda, right? Which of course now we all know is a Sioux word, right? Okay, but he came to America, supposedly came to America. That's what killed me, all right? Came to America, and now he's a school teacher under the name of Luke Charles. That made no sense to me even as a 7, 8-year-old. That made no sense. First off, there's nobody I know of who is African who ever changes their name. They actually get more standing and respect under their African names than they would if they changed the name. So that never made any sense to me. One, that's a giveaway. It's a tip-off. Two, now that I've learned about Wakanda and where the name comes from, and for those of you who don't know, okay, Wakanda, right? Wakanda is a great creator, power of the Osage, Omaha, and Ponca tribes. Wakanda is an abstract, omnipresent creative force who is never personified in traditional Siouan legends, and in fact did not even have a gender before the introduction of English with its gender-specific pronouns, right? So you're talking about a word that is Sioux, and you're talking about pretty much a tribe in America, right? And, of course, again, these guys fact-check, and he originally was supposed to be American. So, it all made sense. Going back, it all made sense to me. Really what they were trying to do at the time was they were creating the genesis of what would be the African American. Because, again, you have to go back to the times. 1966, Black Power movement. A lot of your Black Panthers were naming themselves African names to begin with. Okay, so the Black Panther was kind of like the prelude to that time. This is when you started seeing cats rocking dashikis. Wilt Chamberlain used to wear a dashiki, used to dress in African garb at one time, or a dashiki. Bill Russell was doing it. Jim Brown, a lot of your celebrities, everybody with the whole Black Power movement was aligned with so-called African Power movement, which I never knew there was one, but you get my point. So this was the prelude to all of that, right? All of it. Thus, that Sanford and Son sketch. Because in the common man's household, we weren't having it. Our elders weren't having it at all. Not at all. So that's when it hit me of what this all is. And just look at the effect that it has taken. Because, again, Black Panther is woven into our culture, the fabric of our culture, of American culture, but particularly our culture. Because at the time, we were so bereft of Negro characters. When you got to see one, no matter how raggedy it might have been, you were just happy that they were there, right? Shoot. It also coincides with the time of the so-called blaxploitation film industry, which saved Hollywood, but they won't tell you that part. Okay, and because and the reason why the blaxploitation era saved Hollywood primarily is because there were more Negroes than what was originally propagated. There were we're supposed to have been about 25 million in the 70s. If only 25, there were only 25 Negroes. All right, and they're making films about us, and say only 10% of us go to see those films, yeah, that ain't much of a profit. But let's say if 50% of us go to see Scream Black or Scream, which we did, right, and that film that only cost $150,000 all of a sudden now makes about $45 million, that's a hell of a profit, and that's how it saved Hollywood. Shaft, all of them. All right. Now, God, I sound like Janet, don't I? Now, oh, and guys, feel free to join in on the discussion. 563-999-3442. We're talking Black Panther all night, so feel free to holler at your bro. All right. Okay. So, considering that, what has it done to us now some 40-something years later? Tomorrow, I know what I'm going to go see. And I know that some of the African Americans are going to be out there wearing kente cloth, kente hats, kufis, dashikis, all of this, feeling their Wakandan selves, not knowing that Wakanda is an American word. You dig? All right. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you really think that there's going to be any nation building that's going to come from this? Do you really think that this is going to be the start of something positive or that? Didn't Spike Lee say that shit with Malcolm X? How did that turn out? Right? Which was a garbage movie, but that's another story. But you get the point, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you the positive that's going to come from this movie. The one positive that I don't think will be understated, whether they try or not. We know better. You're going to find out how many Negroes there are in America from this movie. I'm not going to say that it's going to make $1 billion, but I'll say it'll come damn close. Considering now their pre-ticket sales, they've brought shattered records in pre-ticket sales. Shattered records. Not broken, but shattered them. So it's going to make a shitload of money. A shitload of money. And this whole deal that, okay, it only makes its money because now white people decided to see it. There have been too many things that have made a ton of money without white folks even knowing that it exists first. And a lot of white folks ain't going to go see this just from the name Black Panther anyway. 9 times out of 10, they either got to be comic book fans, they got to be, what's the lead character's name? Him. They got to be fans of him or any Angela Bassett or anybody else that's in the Michael, B. Jordan and all these guys. You got to be fans of them, maybe. But they're not going just to see the Black Panther just to see. Because, again, the racism game will not allow them to do that. They will not support a film that has a majority black cast. It won't do it. I've seen that. too many times. And how is this film, just because you have a black director, right? Just because you have a black director, a black cast, and yes, I'm using the word black, but you know why I'm using it, damn it. So don't get all at me, all right? Just because you have a black cast and you have a black director doesn't make it a black film. I mean, this is just the Black Panther. I get it. It's got a predominantly black cast, but how is this different from, say, Coming to America? How? You had a white director, but a Negro wrote it, right? A Negro got the funding for it, and it had with the exception of what, one person, Louis Anderson, you had an all-Negro cast. So how is this different? The reality is it's not different. And this is not a black film. This is a white film with a black cast in it. Until you own your distribution or you can finance your film, you don't have a black movie. Period. So for those of you going thinking that this is this black moment, I'm black, y'all, I'm blacker than black, y'all. Nah. You can feel that way for 2 hours. That's good. Hey, knock yourselves out. But once the movie's over, the reality is going to hit you right back in the same situation you were. You just happen to see a good movie. Ryan Coogler did a hell of a job from all that I've seen. So, hey, no, this isn't a nation-building moment. Okay, but we'll talk about that. All right, real quick, 240-240, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
OCO, everyone. It's Wind Walker.
OCO. What's going on, Wind Walker? Not to be confused with the Day Walker, people.
This is true. It's good to be here. And I would say, the movie Black Panther is interesting. I mean, I've done some, on the spot knowledge testing of the people out here, and a lot of them, they don't even realize that the jaguar is actually the melanated Black Panther, and is indigenous to the Americas. I mean, shit.
Indigenous to the Americas.
Right. Now, interesting enough, okay, this like you said, okay, I'll see the movie because there's a curveball out there to be disruptive, and the 4Ds, distraction, diversion, division, and display. Okay, there are breadcrumbs there, and as we know, throughout the Marvel universe. Okay, and this is another one, another key piece, key element. The difference here in this movie, okay, even from Coming to America, which, by the way, I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that the dancers in Coming to America, they were wearing indigenous American Caribbean regalia. Okay.
Yes, they were.
Not African. And the
wasn't African.
Right. Not African. No, not at all. And
Tasha, she said it was Mayan, and I would agree with that. It was Mayan.
Mayan. Well, Mayan
yes.
is north is of the Americas.
Exactly.
Mexico is in as part of North America and Central America. I mean, the Mayans they come from the Mayan sons. They come from the Taman, which is the oldest, the most ancient of the ancient that I know of, which we come from.
Right.
And again, like I said, there are breadcrumbs here. Another thing, Eddie Murphy, the ornaments that he had around his, they was wearing around his neck, they were all
ran around his neck. Yeah.
Masonic, right there.
Masonic.
Right in plain sight. So, and this one you're going to see a lot, okay? Vibranium is a very unique element, okay? Pay attention to that. And its arch nemesis in the movie is the Golden Jaguar. I mean, come on. Now, what they did, I didn't like what they did. They changed a lot of the characters' actual appearance from the comic, okay? Forrest Whitaker's character is Oshiri or whatever? Oshari?
Yeah.
Okay, now in the comic, this brother is a titan, okay? And he has locks, okay? Long locks, okay? So he's a titan, okay? But yet in the comic, in the movie, they have him as an aging, old, bald-headed man, okay, who can barely stand. He's holding a spear, which is supposed to be a staff. It's really sad. In the comic, T'Challa, the Black Panther, he has, they're more than just, he has, his elite guard that's also, strong warrior, brothers, men, okay, as well as his elite guard that are, the women warriors, okay. In the movie, it's like they're shifting all of that to, where his inner circle of elite guards are all women. I mean, at least in the previews, that's what they're showing and projecting.
Yeah.
Which is again part of that, this whole scheme of things that's out there. But I mean, we talked in the past. We know, sit back and watch the show, get the popcorn, take notes.
It's entertainment.
Exactly. I mean, I collected the comics growing up. I still buy comics. Unfortunately,
so do I.
My older brother wasn't into the comics, and my younger brother is 8 years between us, so he was too young to buy comics at the time. He read mine and bought them up. It wasn't intentional, but I didn't have the opportunity to, hey, bro, look, you got these, I got these. I had to spend my money going broke on the comics. Because you can spend a lot of money on comics.
Oh, man, if we had back in the day, bro, if we had 12 cents or 15 cents, and then, of course, it was 20 cents or a quarter,
25
man, we were going to get
some
comics. If we got $1, we were getting at least 2 to 3 comics.
Right. Exactly.
My brother and I used to sell bottles to get money up, not for food, but comics. 5 cents a bottle, man. You sold those Royal Crown bottles. I don't know if you ever did it or not, Windwalker, but we certainly did. Coke bottles, Pepsi bottles, Royal Crown bottles, because back then your sodas came in bottles and not so much cans, right? Yeah, we sell bottles, man.
Where I lived at, we didn't have that I guess a resource and that avenue to do that. I lived in the burbs. I lived out in the county.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Now I will say this though, hopefully what will come away from this, you'll see that the love and the passion that the people, they have for that land, for that territory. They guard it with their souls, They realize one sentence. Be careful, listen to it. You and I know, says the child just says, the Black Panther or the Panther God has guarded guarded Wakanda for generations.
Right.
And now I heard, undertones of, you got these religious groups out there saying, oh, this is satanic, because they're saying the Panther God. But yet, all you fake pseudo-Christians out there who are materialistic and selfish, I will let you know this. Before you want to start on a movie, you start with the military, because they recognize Wicca as a religion. And it's all through the U.S. military, So you start there, I challenge you to start there, I challenge you, I'm begging you, please, please show Rush Limbaugh, everybody out there, all you fake, conservatives out there, please, anti-liberals, you fake wannabe liberals, please, but indigenous rights, we got this.
And
people, it's time for them to go.
People, when Windwalker says please, like he's James Brown, he's serious. All right, hold tight, Windwalker. All right, I got 919 on the line. 919, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
Yo, what's up, gang?
What's going on, Clee?
Chilling, man, chilling.
G-Town's in the house. G-Town's in the house.
Man, you brought back a whole bunch of memories talking about them comic books, man. Because I was a demon for my daggone self, man. And
a lot of the kids were, when we were coming up.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Because I remember, when I was really really little, like around 4, 5, 6, it was more the DC comics, Batman, Superman. But somewhere around 10, that's when it started turning to Marvel. And I'm sorry, Marvel's just the shit to me. I mean,
yeah.
it was
just a better. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead. I was saying.
No, I'm just saying, it was just a better comic book.
It is, because I was watching something one time. They were saying because Marvel's more to the readers is more relatable because you got Spider-Man. Here he is a hero, but shit in the back of his mind, he worried about whether or not he could pay his rent.
Exactly.
So I mean,
exactly.
But yeah, man. So shoot, I even did to the point where you talking about getting them, selling the bottles. Shoot, man, I remember. I ain't gonna lie about it, dude. I got the money together. I had me a daggone subscription. I had a subscription to X-Men, Iron Man, Avengers, and Power Man and Iron Fist.
Oh wow. You really were.
I had a year subscription from like 8. I can't remember if it was 80 or 81 to 82. I think it was 81 to 82. Yep.
Yeah.
And I had a year-long subscription because when I first bought my first X-Men, it was by accident. Okay, I just went up to like the fast fair up on George Street. Yeah, George and Ash Street. Just I was with my brother, and I'm looking at a couple comic books. He was like, I grabbed one. He said, "What you want?" And I just grabbed one. He said, "That's all you want?" I was like, "Well, I ain't had real comic books in a while, so I grabbed just a handful. Just grabbed, just saw what looked interesting, and I ended up grabbing the X-Men. And like maybe about a year and a half or so later, a little over a year later, that's when they were starting to. I found a couple more. That were older, like at another store, but it was like 3 issues after the one the X-Men that I had found. And then next thing you know, damn, they was about into the whole Mutant X Proteus phase. And from that moment on, I was on. But back then you couldn't find like special issues of them. When Jean Grey died as Phoenix. Now they retconned it, and now they're saying that she wasn't Phoenix then, she was already dead and yada yada blah blah.
They always bring them back.
Yeah, but you couldn't find like certain issues, so I was like, what, forget this. So I just cut the little part out of the comic book where they always showed the subscriptions. It said pick 4. I picked 4, and that was how it was, man. I love the hell out of them damn comics when I had them. I know I got most of them, and like I went around.
Gotta hold on to them.
Going to comic. I'm trying to, man. I went around forever to like Comic Cons. I got one with I got an old Fantastic Four one. I got at this comic joint like across on Hillsborough Street when I was in college. I used to live at that damn place just looking at comic books. Then I just found out about 2 months ago there's this place like in Cary. It's right after get off of 293 exit on 40. It's like It's like near the South Hills Mall, in the South Hills Mall.
I've been there.
Man, dude, they got everything. I'm like,
yes, they do.
I'm just naming stuff just to see what they got, see if he in the know of it. The chick that worked there, she didn't know nothing, but she kept going to old dude who knew every damn thing. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, cool. But it was about 2 years ago, I actually found the issue where the Avengers number 10, the annual, where Ms. Marvel lost her powers.
Yeah.
Dude, I had gone to Comic Con, couldn't find that. So
yeah, you gotta be clever, man. You'd be surprised. You can find some good old comic books in like yard sales, stuff like that.
Yep.
I found the I have more than one copy of it, but I always get extras because I put these bad boys up on eBay. I found I think it's the Hulk. Is it 187 or 186? Well, Wolverine is introduced. I still have that one. I've got 3 issues of it now, right? And I found it in a yard sale.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what people. Hey, one man's trash is another man's treasure, brother. So
I know, man. Don't remind me, because I remember one time I had this one. I bought it from the bookstore, and they had like Marvel's Greatest Battles, and they showed this one where Thing versus the Hulk, Submariner versus what's his name, Daredevil, Submariner versus Iron Man. That was the shit. Thor versus the Silver Surfer. It just had it was off the chain. I don't know what happened to that.
Okay, yeah. Now, here's the thing, Cleek. Okay, if you read the Black Panther, right? Now, you know that he didn't get any superpowers literally until the 80s, right?
Yeah.
But
he could go whoop
fact,
a motherfucker's ass.
Yeah, exactly. He was just, his middle name was Quick. He was just quick to whoop a motherfucker's ass. That's what he was. Now, I ain't trying to be funny, but that is really reminiscent of brothers, indigenous Negro Indians. Because I ain't never known too many Africans named Quick. I'm just saying.
Nope.
In that regard. But, yeah. Hey, hold real tight, Clee. Don't go anywhere, man. I'll get right back to you. You got 845. 845. You're on the Rich Report. What's up?
Hey, man, it's Corey.
Hey, what's going on, Corey? What's happening?
It's all good. I wanted to respond to what this movie might do for the black community. And,
okay.
I heard all the movies that you had talked about in our past, and here we go again. It is nothing new. I totally agree with that. And I'm hoping that people aren't just going out to get entertained, but to be motivated. I mean, look who's in office. We know who's running the show of Hollywood, and I don't think Hollywood has to be the only game in town. If we know how to,
it doesn't have to be, but we're not that clever, and we're not that clever, and we don't want to put in the grunt work, say that Oscar Michaud did. We don't want to go back to the days of Melvin Van Peebles, guys like that. We just don't want to do it. We would just rather beg them for money for a film, do the Spike Lee thing, and then whine and pout and cry when he doesn't get his way. Well, it's like, nigga, you ain't supposed to get your way. You're in Hollywood. They're Jews. They're not going to give you your way. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah, that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
I'm hoping that.
But it could happen, Corey. It could happen.
I mean, my thing is, let's take the younger kids. Forget about the old fogies. Let's capture these younger kids who have some type of gut, hopefully, and glory in them still, and they use this film as, it's a superhero, right? So let's build our superheroes. There's got to be a way. For the people, I was speaking to a Hollywood actress earlier, and, they own it. The Jews own it. I'm like, okay, I get that. But there's so many opportunities out here. Not everything has to go through Hollywood.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't.
We've got
You're correct.
Netflix. We got other things, and if we create it ourselves, then we have it as well. It's like we created half the stuff that's being used now anyway on the internet.
True.
It's our science.
Okay, do you remember Undercover Brother?
Yes, I do. Oh, my
movie.
God, yeah.
Okay. Undercover Brother actually started as a cartoon, right?
Right.
As a homemade cartoon, basically using stop motion animation, right? And they used to appear on YouTube when YouTube was like really, really young, right? They would show these episodes of Undercover Brother and check them out, people, for yourselves, right? The guy who's actually Smart Brother was the voice of Undercover Brother in these cartoons. Okay, the cartoons built such a following that it got Hollywood's attention, and that's how they got a movie made. But the point is, he didn't wait for Hollywood to do this. The creator of it, he just did his own thing.
Exactly.
It's that, and I'm quite sure it wasn't easy, and I'm quite sure it cost, because I told you how much I've been charged just for 10 seconds of animation for my series, and that's $1,000 for 10 seconds. So, you're talking about $100 a second. So, of course, it's expensive. And, of course, I still am looking for animators out there who are not willing to try to, fleece my very paltry bank account. So if you're out there, raise your hand. I got 4 eyes. I'll see you. But, okay, it can be done, Corey. There's no doubt. But my point is this. If you're going to see the Black Panther and it's supposed to be your self-esteem, this is to raise your self-esteem, you didn't have any self-esteem to begin with. A movie shouldn't do that. Movies cast spells. There's no doubt about that. Depends on the type of spell it casts, but they cast spells. So if you come, feeling empowered and, grateful, well, that's the job of the movie, and hopefully you'll go back and see it again and again and again. That's the point. But, all right, if this is your, end-all, be-all, where you're betting your Negro-ness on this movie, then you didn't have much to begin with. Now, can we take a positive out of this? Sure. There's no doubt about that. I don't know if it will happen, though. And I have to say that I'm a bit pessimistic.
I have a little bit on 50-50 because I look at this as the yes we can Obama. And then what do we do with that? Not that he's supposed to save the black race, but, you know, he offered you come with a plan. And here it is again. Come with a plan.
He had a plan, but it had nothing to do with us.
Exactly. But, I mean, he did put an offer out, but what did we do? We bashed the man, right? So here it is again, opportunities for the black community to see how we spend our money. I'm marketing. So how are we spending our money? We're going to spend our money on a movie to be entertained, that thinking that it's a black thing. So if you're able to spend $32 to $50 on a movie where the money's going to Hollywood, and I'm hoping that their contracts actually get them paid very nicely with all the money that they're going to make, then can we take $6 and support an independent artist? Actually, $2. Actually, we could, with $50, you can support at least 5 independent artists and put them on, and they stay totally independent, owning their content, and being the legal right owners to what they actually create. But, if you show Black America how to solve a problem, will they actually execute? That's what I'm going to see. That's what I want to see what happens. But I think I'm hoping not. I'm really hoping not, man. I want somebody to prove me wrong too, because we've seen it already.
Well, I would love for someone to prove me. I would love for someone to prove me wrong. I would love for that to happen. I don't know about that Obama stuff. We bashed him. Actually, we love Obama's last year's draws, bro. He bashed us first. Obama got up, and even before he got elected, and told you, what did he tell you? And you're Negroes. You need to brush your teeth, and you need to wash your ass. Wash your ass. Don't go out there and your ass is not washed. He was critical from the very beginning. He pretty much set the precedent to let you know, I might look like you, but I'm not you. And we didn't see.
Anybody that's in that circle, we know what it's about.
Yeah, well, of course. He's more them than he is us. But, we haven't been this excited probably since Obama. And
exactly.
How did that turn out? And this will
that's
turn
what I'm
out
saying.
the same way.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's like we're going to go out and spend our money, but what's going to happen in the aftermath?
Well, nothing's going to happen. Now, hopefully the actors get paid, and, that's the reason why a lot of us are going to show support for the actors of color, so-called, the melanated ones. But that's really about it, because at the end of the day, the Jews are going to pocket the money. That's how it goes, because they finance the film. They own the distribution. And until we get out of that mindset of going to Hollywood to make a film and beg them for funding for it, you're at their mercy. And until we get out of that, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to go down. Again, we need more Oscar Micheaux and Melvin Van Peebles out there. We need less Spike Lees. It's that simple.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Nowadays, it is. Man,
it is.
All right.
It is.
Keep it going,
all right,
brother.
Bro. Yes, sir. Appreciate the call.
You got it.
312, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
How you feel?
What's happening? You sound like you're kicking flour over there. What's going on?
No, that's kind of burp this beer out. That's why I sound like this. Hey, man, I remember I picked up comic books from my elder brother, man, back in the early 70s as a shorty, man.
Right on.
I got hooked ever since, man. I even earned myself a collection. Went off the job for mom cleaning out the room, doing house sweeping, cleaning. And she threw them all away. Threw them away,
man. Oh, that hurt.
It hurt. I've had a frown for a while because she looked at it as junk. I'm sure most females don't look at comic books as a collector. It's just some
parents just don't understand.
They don't understand.
Parents just don't understand, Mike. Hey, everybody, this is Mike Hampton, by the way. It's always good to have Mike on. Me and Mike used to be on Mondays once upon a time back in the olden days.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And
Good to hear from you, Mike.
Good to hear from you too. I also want to mention you brought up that perhaps white audience might tune in and go see it.
Right.
I don't think, as you were saying, not many would show up for the reason of, hey man, you know the majority of it, what I've been seeing through the years, like to see us what? How did Denzel Washington get a Grammy? Yeah, become what?
Yes.
Bad cop, you know. He didn't get
Academy Award, you're right. And a slave.
Days when he did it. Yeah. Oh yeah, well you know the slave, that's the takeoff. They love that.
That's a dead one, yeah.
They're not going to see it, man. And it's those who do, they're going to see it to criticize it, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, man, hey, I just want to tune in, man, and say you still doing a good job, brother, you know?
Hey, man. Hey, it's always good to hear from you, Mike. We got to get back on the air one of these days, bro. You got to come on with me.
I will, brother. I will. Y'all
all
stay
right,
peace.
Bro. Yes, sir.
I'm out.
Peace. 813, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
What's going on, man? Chilling like a villain.
What's going on, bro? What's happening?
I see it, man. Though we are new to this black comic movie stuff, we ain't, new to this black hero stuff. You had Shaft, you had Will Smith, I Am Legend, I, Robot, Hancock. You had Denzel Washington, Man on Fire, Equalizer, Book of Eli. I mean, you had
Book of Eli.
Black Man. What this really comes down to is, what we face today is the lack of employment, poverty, and everything else. It's just a lucky go feel good type of thing for us.
It is.
Like when they threw Obama in office, it's making us feel good. We go see this movie, we make all these people this money, and then we back to where we was. I mean, it ain't gonna be nothing
right back to square
new.
one. Yeah.
I mean, we don't have black superheroes, not comics, but it's something to make us feel good about what's going on and to keep us off track and stuff like that. But like I said, we don't have black superheroes. It's just we haven't had the comics and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go see the movie. I appreciate the show and stuff like that, and the dialogue it's strong, man. I appreciate it. That's all I gotta say.
I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. It is strong. Let me ask you. Okay, when you found out that the Black Panther actually had more American roots than so-called African roots, what did you think?
I was just like, here we go again. It's something that we really got to figure out, man. We just can't sit here and be happy about something. We got to figure out, what they're throwing in our face. You know what I'm saying? Like the movie 12 Years a Slave. They threw it in your face how the man wasn't African. He was sitting there, middle class, graduated as an architect, and living up north in a middle class home and stuff like that. He was stolen into slavery, and at the end of the movie, after 12 years, the authorities can't got him because he wasn't a slave. You know what I'm saying? We gotta we gotta be detectives and find out what they're saying in these movies and break it down. They throw a lot of stuff in our face. They did that with Ruse. They did that with Django and all that stuff. We got to break this stuff down, man. We just can't take it as African. They throwing this black title in our face. In Africa, they don't call themselves black. It ain't no black nation. You ain't going to call no people in Africa black. You know what I'm saying? So this is like
they won't let you.
Yeah, they reinforcing this black thing, even though it's Black Panthers. I kind of thought when I first heard it, I didn't see what the movie was about, but when I first heard it, Black Panther, I thought it was based off the Black Panther movie until I seen what they was talking about. But, the whole Black Panther, like somebody said earlier in the Facebook, they said, name a superhero that wasn't named Black in the title. Well, I just named a couple, but, it goes to show that, they want to keep this black status and title and stuff like that on us.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
All these,
no doubt.
All these foreigners that's coming over here, they don't claim black. They might say black, but they don't claim that as a title.
No, never, and they never will because they already know it doesn't have any standing as it relates to them. Hey, I look at it like this, bro. It's going to be 2 hours of a feel-good movie where people will get to escape for 2 hours. but in that 2 hours, it is going to influence some minds subconsciously. And about us being private detectives, you know, the biggest opponents of us being private detectives out here and asking questions and seeking to, uncover truths, our own people. Our own people, generally those educated African Americans that I was discussing earlier, who won't ask questions because their instructor didn't tell them that this was the case. They really pissed me off, to be honest with you, bro.
Oh yeah, it might give it a chance to be a part too. You know, they don't want to see us as superheroes because we look more manly than them. Like they don't want to see us in suit and tie because we look fucking more manly than them in that suit and tie. So they don't want to see us in a certain role. So I appreciate it, man.
True that, man. Hey, thanks for calling in as always, bro.
Okay.
Right on. 469, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
Gabe.
What's going on, Mike? My favorite Negro Indian punk rocker. What's going on, bro?
All right, here's the deal. The most underappreciated hero in Marvel Comics is Sam Wilson, the Falcon.
The Falcon.
Throwing it in your face. He's the Falcon.
He's the Falcon. Yep.
He interacts with nature. He interacts with birds.
Can see through the eyes of birds.
He sees through the eyes of birds. Who else sees through the eyes of birds? Who else? Indians.
In comics?
No, Indians. Period.
Of course. I thought you were in comics. I was going to say because
no.
There's plenty of Indians that did it.
No, they're telling you right off the bat who he is. Even Captain America said when he found him on this island, he's like going, dude, you're American. You're not from the land. You're American. That tells you right there. Even Captain America saw who he was.
Yeah. And also, people, the Falcon was another one who was named Quick. Quick to whoop a brother's ass, or actually particularly a honky's ass back then. The Falcon is Captain America's size and height. 6'2", 240, Batman, same size. All right. All of these cats, exactly. And the Falcon could get out there and beat 4 or 5 cats at a time, even though he didn't have superpowers. With no problem whatsoever.
None. And I told you earlier, I think he can take Captain in a fight.
I think so.
I think he can.
Yeah.
I really think he can.
Go ahead, bro.
But here's the beautiful part of it. Who's one of the greatest characters in the Marvel Universe? It's Falcon. Everyone loves Falcon.
Yeah, everybody loves the Falcon. And people, okay, for those of you who watch Captain America, right, the Falcon played by whatever the fuck his name. I can't think of his name right now.
His name.
But all right, that is not the real Falcon. That he would not kiss Cap's ass like that. Okay,
no, he wouldn't.
That cat should be named Remus Falcon, as in your Uncle Remus from back in the day. He's done everything but say, zippity-doo-ay, all that shit. Zippity-ay, Captain, can I shine your shoes, sir? That ain't the real Falcon. Falcon can hold his own with anybody. So when you're watching the next Captain America, just remember that Falcon is busted. He is a Walmart version of the comic book character. Okay, I just had to put that in there.
But even in the Marvel Universe, he kicks ass. He kicks ass. And he kicks ass, and he's arrogant. He's totally arrogant about it. Like, I just kicked that ass, and I did it, and I have no powers. He's the first to admit, you know what? I have no powers. I'm just a natural man doing what I do. And that's it. That's what's great about him. And I said this earlier on the post. If you want to see one of the best stories in Marvel history, is when Falcon takes over the mantle as Captain America. White America lost their shit. They hated him.
Yes, they did.
They hated him. But the superhero community rallied around him. They're like, you know what? He's not bullshitting us. He's gonna lead us. Cap says this is Cap's boy. So, if Cap picks him, we're gonna do this.
Okay. Hey, now, Michael. All right.
Yeah.
If you notice, when you see this movie, you're going to see this movie has very, very strong Negro Indian overtones, not undertones, but overtones. Okay, people. First thing, when you see Chadwick Boseman walk, I don't know any African who got a pimp walk like that. All right.
No.
Now he walks the same way in just about every film. He pimp walks. He maybe he got it from the James Brown Get On Up flick that he did, which he shouldn't have been in, but he was. So fuck it. Okay, but I don't know any African cat who pimp walk. Those cats walk pretty much straight, upright, head up in the ass, stiff as anything. But this T'Challa, I will say Luke Charles. This Luke Charles, right? Pimp walks. He got a pimp stroll actually. He got a stroll going like he Wesley Snipes in say New Jack City or what's the other Sugar Hill type pimp stroll.
Sugar Hill, yeah.
All right. I ain't never seen an African walk like that.
Yeah, he's arrogant.
Yes.
He's arrogant. And Africans by nature are not arrogant. We are.
Only to us. Only to us are they arrogant. They're not arrogant to anybody else.
They try to be. And
True.
we shut them down pretty quick.
Yeah, I've been there. We've had the turf wars with Africans before, and when I was in my freshman year of college, bro, I thought for a second there that was kind of like mini World War III going on with us and them, man, because we used to go at it, and them cats used to wear whooped ass like clothes, like dashikis, honestly. The smart ones didn't get in the midst of that, but a lot of the Liberians were the coolest ones, and now we know why. But
they're us.
Because they're us. But overall, a lot of the Nigerians and the Ghanaians and the cat. Oh no, man, we used to go at it. I mean, at it.
I love it when they come here and talk shit, and I'm like, oh hey, dude, you're African. If your nation is so great, why the hell are you here? Why are you giving me shit in my land? Go save your shit and let us do what we have to do. Don't talk bullshit to me. Please. And I always say please, which throws them off. Because they want us to yell, they want to scream, they want us to be thugs. I'm like, no, bro, we're not all thugs. We know who we are. We know exactly who we are. And that's frightening.
Well, are you surprised that they Africanized the character when you found out that I can't say that I am either now. I mean, as a kid, I started collecting the Panther when you're talking about 7 years old. Then of course but again, even as a 6 or 7 year or 8 year old, I knew something was not quite right with the storyline that they were given. I even had the Avengers issue when they gave you the Black Panther's backstory, because before then they only gave you snippets because they were still trying to find their way on what to do, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense to me even then. Yeah. And I damn sure didn't look towards Africa like my home even then. I just saw a cat who looked like me, and But initially, though, you're right. The initial cat drawing that they had, he looks like Montezuma.
He looks exactly like Montezuma. The outfit, the pose, everything. He's like going, this is not the guy you want to mess with. Just let this guy do what he has to do and just leave him alone.
Yep.
Leave him alone. But they Africanized him. And once they Africanized him, they made him European. He was he was materialistic. He chased white women.
Right.
The whole nine yards.
Before Reginald Hudlin came back in and rewrote the character in the 90s, and then of course that's when they had they put the Storm deal in where they met as teens and fell in love and all that stuff. But before then, you're right. They had T'Challa as Luke Charles, people. He was a white woman-loving cat in the comic books if you ever saw one. I mean, really. Hey, hang with me, Michael. Hang with me. All right. I got 816 on. 816. You're on the Rich Report. What's up?
Hey, Rich. I want to agree with the last caller before, about the reinforcement of this whole black, issue. Right. You know, I got this race and ethnicity form, this government form that I'm looking at, and Black or African American is the only group that in the definition that doesn't have an origin in an original people.
There you go.
So you understand what I'm saying? So the American Indian has an origin in original people. The Asian has an origin in an original people. The Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander has an origin in an original people, and the white category, you know, has an origin in an original people. The only one that doesn't have an origin in an original people is Black and African American. And so I think they're spending all this money, you know, for these productions. And you look, it ain't just the Black Panther, but just about every show on television is Black, Blackish, Black this, Black love, Black that, Black. You know, that's the programming, you know, that they want us to accept, you know, because then we go into their artificial, you know, the artificial person. You know what I'm saying, that they have created.
Just look at it this way. They've got a superhero character on TV right now, Black Lightning, and his daughter is a lesbian.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And open lesbian at that. I mean, you know, I'm talking about, you know, voracious. I'm talking like she's like, you know, Jada Pinkett lesbian. And that's voracious. You'll have to trust me on that, people. Okay, so, yeah, you're right.
You know, so I think, you know, that's what, you know, is really, you know, that our downfall is accepting an identity that white folks, you know, have put upon us. You know, we got to go back to that they have created for us. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't have any standing at law. You know what I'm saying? That's why when a police officer, you know, kills a quote-unquote black man, you know what I mean? He killed an artificial person. He didn't even kill an artificial person.
Yeah. Killed an artificial person.
He killed McDonald's. He killed, you know, you ain't going to go to prison for killing Walmart or McDonald's. You know what I mean? You're going to go on the civil side. You're not going to go on the criminal side. Yeah.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, there's one of the reasons why they're coming in on us, they're going in on us, the police, that is because embracing the African American title, you are far less away from your real standing than you've ever been before, and pretty soon you'll be accepting terms and conditions from them. That's the whole point. If you accept African American, you're going to accept the terms and conditions that they're going to give you, and they will be giving them to you, something we never have done before. Even as Negroes, as black, we capitulated. That's when we really started begging. And as African Americans now, we are totally just loopy. And they will be giving you those terms and conditions pretty soon and telling you what you can and you cannot do. Actually, they're already doing that.
Hey, I changed all my paper, bro. I changed, you know, my passport, everything to American Indian. You know what I'm saying? I changed my paperwork. You know what I'm saying? On my job, you know what I mean? I changed my race and ethnicity, you know, for everything, driver's license, everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think we have to do, you know, as a people, because like you said, it's a spell as well. You know what I mean? Because this paper, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's you know, I mean, you can't even put it into words what they have done to us, you know. But they need us to participate in it.
Well, they need us to participate. They need our energy. One, they need our energy because our energy is unlike no other. It's nuclear, compared to theirs. And it's also why they have stopped kids from writing in cursive. See, they don't want the kids to understand the spell, and particularly our kids. So that's why they've taken out cursive, because that's why it's called cursive. You can literally curse someone through writing.
That's right. That's right. And if you look at the word black, you see the B by itself is, you know, a word all by itself. B, and then lack. Yeah. Be lacking. Be lack.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't good, man. It ain't good for us.
Yeah, it ain't good at all, bro.
Nope.
Ain't good at all.
It is not.
So ain't good at all, man. Hey, bro, you know, I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. You have
something else to say? Go ahead, bro. Speak your mind.
I mean, you know, I just, you know, I look at the whole, you know, civil rights thing. See, that's a figment, of the white man's imagination. You know what I mean? And as a man, you know, why would you ask another man, you know what I mean, for anything? You know what I mean? Asking a white man for civil rights, that's like put ourselves beneath him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Did the white man make the sun come up? Did the white man make the sun come up? No.
Well,
you know, what you doing asking the white man for some civil rights that he can take away from you whenever he get ready? Whenever he get ready.
What did MLK say? He said that, you know, he feared that he was
into a burning house. Into a
burning house. Yeah.
Burning house, yeah.
Oh, it's burning.
The house is burnt down, bro.
He was right.
But you know what? There are some solutions, bro. You know, I think there's some solutions, man, for us. I think, you know, we have to go back to the old way, man. You know what I mean? We need to stop going to these contracts with these people, the birth certificate, the Social Security number. What do you need a Social Security number for unless you're going to be an employee working for somebody all your life?
Yeah.
You know, why you can't work for yourself? You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be no driver's license, none of these contracts, man. We don't need, you know, if we start pulling back, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we do you know, I tell my daughters, I got some younger daughters, and I want all of them to learn how to be midwives. You know what I mean? We don't need to be using these people for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at them. I mean, what have, you know, how can you trust them? You know, how can you continue
you can't trust them.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. So we need to back out all the way out. Birth certificates, no. If you got to have something.
I agree. That's
if
the
you
first
got to have
step.
something to say the date of your birth, you know, for your child, make it yourself. Make it yourself. And then notarize it or something like that. You don't need to go into no contract with United States Corporation. You know, which
you don't.
Turns it into a stock. They turn it into a stock, you know, a bond. You know what I'm saying? And then put it out on Wall Street, you know, so then you got your child into slavery all over again.
Yep.
You know, we can just back out, man. We just need to back out, but it's going to take courage. It's going to take It's going to take a generation that has courage to say, you know what, we don't need white folks. You know, we ain't going to die if we're not dealing with white folks. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to die. You know what I'm saying? You know, start taking care of each other. Start taking care of each other.
Well, we've got to stop looking at white people with minorities' eyes, and that's our biggest problem. We really do believe that we're minorities and they have every advantage over us. How many times have I heard someone say, well, we don't have guns and we can't fight them. They've got all the weapons. It's more than just weaponry, people. You can fight them with your mind. And to be honest with you, look, let's put it this way. Okay? Let me put it this way. Okay, once upon a time when they came over, they were chopping off limbs of ours, correct? We started chopping off limbs, it stopped. Then they went to scalping us, correct? Okay, we started scalping them back, it stopped, right? It's not how many of them you get rid of. It's make an example of the right ones. That's really it. Because their whole mentality is that of a gang mentality to begin with. Read any story on lynching. There were 100 of them who pulled one person out and lynched them. That's how they do. I saw a video of in 4A of this sister getting beat on by these Beckys, right? These Becky Wasichus. Okay, she got set up first off because they were supposed to have been her friend, and they set her up. All right, and they just went WWE on her. But that was the only way they were going to fight her. And you can tell she'd been around white folks a lot because she didn't fight back. She was scared. Now, most sisters will roll up their sleeve and beat the hell out of one, and the other Becky going to get the hell out of the way. I told you, one sister equals 7 white women. But that's just, my take on it.
Oh, no, you're right.
Yes,
you're
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. Bro, I really appreciate the call, man, and I hope you call back.
I will, man. Appreciate your show.
Right on. Right. Appreciate you. So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, it's epic, right? And it's going to be epic, not for the reasons that we think. You're going to find out how many of us are in America. I do believe that, because the majority of people who go see this film will be us. You know that. White people don't generally go see shit that's about us until they hear what the hoopla is about. Kind of like the whole Tyler Perry thing. You know, sisters talking about Madea all day. White women wondering what the hype was, and so they went and started checking out Madea, right? But it's feast or famine. They may like one Madea movie, but that don't mean they're going to like another one. So a problem with us is when we start to basically court white folks and thinking that, well, they'll buy my albums. That's why Lionel Richie started making bullshit like Dancing on the Ceiling. And I knew right then when he made that song and I saw that video, he was done. He was over. It was a wrap for Lionel. His Jerry curl was coming back. No more Jerry curl. No more. All right, so hold on for a quick second. We got 267 on. 267, you're on the Rich Report. What's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, guys, it's Anthony Colquitt of the Indigenous Chronicles, which comes on every Monday from 8 to 9 p.m. What's going on, Anthony?
Brother, I'm enjoying it. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with the brother who called who said, we need to back out of their system. And in terms of, this film being sparking something positive in our children, I'm always just being an optimist. So I'm expecting, greatness, our children to realize their greatness. And even if it takes this movie for them to use their imagination and for them to go in a positive direction, great. But then someone called in earlier and said, well, what would happen from there? Would there be more positive films like this? They're going to come back with us on the curve. They could give a Tyler Perry, the word to do a silly movie on a silly superhero, in a dress or something like that.
But keep in mind also, Tyler Perry's trying to get his hands on the rights to Malcolm X so he can make that movie. You know what a clusterfuck that's going to be if he gets his hands on that movie? Had you guys heard this?
I didn't hear
that
at all.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and
yes, he's trying to get his hands on Malcolm X.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if you saw For Colored Girls or not, right? But I didn't see the movie because I know it was Tyler Perry, and Tyler doesn't do deep. And that book I read the book, right? My daughter read the book, got me to read the book, and the book is deep, right? And all, I saw in the commercials was just a bunch of women with tears in their eyes with close-up shots, a tear running down the cheek, and something, in the background like condensation, some stupid stuff that doesn't even pertain to neither the movie or the book. So, okay, let's say something good comes out of this, Anthony. Let's say it will get people to maybe becoming entrepreneurial. Let's say that does happen, right? Okay, you still are going to, most of those people are still going to try to rely on bank loans. They are probably not going to pool their resources. They are probably not going to depend on each other in order to be financially and economically viable, right?
Right.
So then what? I mean, it'll be temporary. We've had a lot of riding momentum, right? Of a song or a movie or an event or something like that, where people got the Million Man March. How many brothers were hyped over that? Oh God, the Million Man March. Okay, and then after that, the Bloods and Crips started back going at it, and you know what I mean? Yeah. It was each one teach one, and here we are, right back at where we were. And the reason why, because it was flawed from the beginning. I saw sisters out there who just wanted to see what was going on, getting berated and even beaten down because they were attending the Million Man March. So the march was flawed from the beginning. The march was flawed because the speaker was flawed, and that was Farrakhan. Now, this is a different thing altogether, of course, because this is a movie. But let's say these good things do happen. We're still going to have to roll up our sleeves. At the end of the day, we're going to have to roll up our sleeve, and we're going to have to prepare for the worst.
Right. Which we don't want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get our.
We're not ready.
Set.
Well, let me say this also concerning the animation thing you just talked about. that you want to do yourself, you set up a GoFundMe. I'm going to contribute.
Well, you know,
brother,
I figure I'll get out here and I'll buy some cattle, pimp some cattle out to, you know, other cows, or, you know, the cows could be lesbian or bisexual cows. I don't know how it's going to happen. You know, maybe, you know, dress up as Dracula at night for parties, or, you know, be a Dracula stripper, something to get the money up, bro. I'm going to have to do the Melvin Van Peebles thing in order to get it done, because, shit, $1,000 for just 10 seconds of footage, man, that's a lot of bread, bro. That's a lot of bread. And last time I checked, Michael Jordan and all those other cats, they're not philanthropists. So, you know, but I will do it. I will get it done. I know I will get it done, because I know me. Even if I just have to draw stick figures and just do a voiceover, you know. So hey, Anthony, before you head out, bro, tell us about your show.
Well, it's the Indigenous Chronicles. It comes on every Monday, 8 to 9. And this Monday, Freeman and myself are going to be discussing money. Interesting. We're talking about money. Yeah.
And remember, guys, refrain from using language like on my show. You cannot say fuck, hell, piss, damn, motherfucker, lesbian, cock, the P word, the C word. I'm not going to use those. You cannot say those words on Anthony's show. You can, however, say them on this show, because all the children, they have on, you know, they have on like toboggans and they can't hear.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Mike, man. Hey, Mike, let me ask you why we got Anthony on the line, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now Anthony wrote a book called The Indigenous Chronicles, right? Which is a good book, by the way, Anthony. I've actually read it twice now. Right?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, so in Anthony's book, it's basically a book of poetry, and he's just relating the experience, right? How is it? Do you realize that if Anthony was a white dude writing this book, would it be on the bestseller right now?
Oh, of course it would. Of course it would. But we've convinced ourselves we're not indigenous. That's the problem.
Yes, we have.
That's the major problem. We convinced ourselves that we're from somewhere else. That our history starts from somewhere else. And,
yes, it has. That's very true.
How many times have you heard me say this? We look like the land. We look like the trees, the flowers. We look like the animals. Hell, our grandparents named themselves after those very animals, those very trees, those very plants.
This is true. I saw a brother yesterday who looked like a goat, minus the horns.
Minus the horns. And you know what? And the only reason was you couldn't see the horns. The horns were there. You just couldn't see them.
They probably were, man. But the way he was chewing on that burger, bro, I just expected him to go, you know, you got something wrong with this bag? You know, I don't know, man. I'm just Oh, hey Anthony, man, I really appreciate you calling in as always. And I had something for you guys with your show Monday, man. But you were on a roll, but I was going to drop some facts for you, so I'll be in tune this Monday, bro.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Hey, Clee.
Yeah. Hello?
Okay. We're on the party line for it. We got about 15 minutes left of the show, so we're doing the party line thing. Okay, so what do you expect? Are you going to check out the movie, Anthony? I mean, not Anthony. Michael, are you going to check out the movie?
You know what? I'm a comic book nerd. I'm a Marvel fan. Yes, I'm going to check out the movie.
Clee, are you going to check out the movie? Okay, what do you guys expect from this movie?
I expect the same propaganda, the African propaganda. I expect that. But you know what I really want? I want to see Sam Wilson interact with T'Challa and see how that goes.
That would be nice.
That's what I really want to see. Because I want to see Sam Wilson like going, you know what? Wakanda's cool. And if he says I'm American, I'm sold. That would just like everything away right there. Right there. You're my brother, but you're really not my brother. Okay? I have a different agenda than you. If Sam Wilson says that, I am sold.
I might get up and walk out.
Yeah, that's it. That'd be ended for me. That'd be ended.
You know, I'll do a thing like African Americans, suck it. You know, something like that. That's just
now, will
that's
it happen?
just me, though.
Yeah. Now, will it happen? Probably not.
No, I doubt it. Even though Ryan Coogler, I do believe he wrote the movie. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that he wrote this film.
Yeah, he did.
Don't hold me to that, but I do believe he did. So if that's anything's possible, and I do like what Coogler has done. I like what he did with Apollo Creed. You know, even though he's making Sylvester Stallone a shitload of more money, but it's clever how he took Apollo Creed's son that he never knew he had because he died before he was born, and he turned that into a new series, a new franchise. Of course, Stallone owns the rights to all of that, but it's still very clever. You're right, and I do like Fruitvale Station, which that was a very, very good movie. Oscar, the story of Oscar Grant. Yeah, I do like what he's doing. He seems to be more clever than most of the other guys who are still stuck on like the 80s type of subject matter, no imagination. He's making it work for him. So I do appreciate that because we seem to lack cleverness. We seem to lack any ingenuity. I mean, come on, LeBron's production team is making House Party over. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah. And Space Jam.
And Space, oh my God, making Space Jam.
Are you serious?
Space Jam. He's serious. Yes. What's going on, Win Walker? Win Walker, what do you expect from this film?
Well, I'm being optimistic. Okay, a lot of, like I said, those of us who are awake and who are ascending, okay, you gotta feel that energy for our motherland. Okay, for our home here. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna have playing soul music in this movie or not. Hopefully, they do, because that's where our roots are. Okay, that's our energy. Now, you mentioned LeBron James. Okay, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I just saw the game the other night where the Cavaliers, they have other game jerseys that say "The Land" on the front of them. Not Cleveland, but "The Land." I mean, again, that's another breadcrumb there.
Yeah, it's just like the Warriors. I was telling the Warriors they have the towns,
right?
As in Oaktown. California. That's the nickname for Oakland, Oaktown. So they drop hints and all of that, but I'm going to tell you, man, I hate them making House Party over as much as I hate the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck.
Yeah, I agree. Same here. I mean,
Forrest Whitaker's neck.
Now, man. It's just a lack of creativity.
Who's gonna play Blade Brown on there, huh? Who's gonna play Blade Brown on there? Are they gonna tell they're gonna turn the guys gay probably this time around?
Yeah, probably. Probably. But here's the thing though, guys. Here's the thing. We haven't mentioned the fact. Now we're talking about a black film and all this stuff, but okay, Wesley Snipes was the executive producer and bought the rights to Blade. Right. Executive produced it under his film company, his production company, starred in it. And if it wasn't for the Blade series, the Marvel films that we see now would not have jumped off the way they did. We tend to forget that. He actually brought them into this era. And he's kind of like a forgotten man.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to do another Blade movie. That's happening.
Yeah, they are. Cool. Is he going to be in it, though?
Yeah. Yes, he's going to be in it.
So he did get back in it.
Yeah, they want him in it because they know without him they would have nothing.
Yeah. Plus they couldn't take even when he was in jail like that. One of the reasons why he went to prison is they wanted to strip Amin-Ra Films, break it down financially, and they wanted the rights to Blade back, and they couldn't get it.
They couldn't get
Yep.
it. He kept it.
It's one of the reasons why they threw him in prison.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one of the people that Ken Starr robbed. He's the only one that went to prison.
Right.
Hey, but you know what, though? You know, you asked that question, right? You're saying that white folks ain't going to go see the Panther. See, I'm tired of that black this, black that. I'm saying the Panther. But, you know, white people ain't going to go to the movie unless they will go to a movie or watch a TV show that's got a large black cast. As long as we are subservient, as long as we slaves, as long as we Jim Crow, that kind of stuff. Oh, they love to help. Oh, they loved all that bullshit.
Yes.
But let it be us. Let it be us, like kicking ass in it. Nope, they don't want to do that. They don't want to deal with that.
No. Case in point, I'll give you a case in point. Remember Predator 2 with Danny Glover? That was the first time in a non-blaxploitation film that a Negro lead, right, actually made it through the film and didn't die. A lot of white folks at that time when that movie came out, they were pissed that this man, that the Predator didn't, turn him into, tiny, Negro, Negro bits and whatnot. They were really, really pissed about that.
You know what the best part of that movie was? After he killed the Predator, he looked at the rest of them like going, drop the knife, like going, all right, who's next?
Yeah.
He was arrogant about it. He's like going, who is next?
And if you notice in that movie, the Predator, he had on a cape that was similar to what the Black Panther wears.
Yeah,
right.
The Panther wears.
When he came out, and when he gave him the musket, he gave him a musket from like the 18th century. So they've been there that long, but he's also wearing a cape similar to that they wear in Central America, South America, and parts of America be pre-Europeans.
Right.
See, the little things they slip in, but, we don't catch them, unfortunately.
Some of us do. Enough of us do. Enough of us do, Gabe. Now,
true. Enough of us do. That's true.
Again, on that, what's going to come away from this is that, again, the connection to the land, the connection, the spiritual, the majestic, the ceremony, the traditional connection to the elements. That he ingests with a sacred herb, that gives him this. His soul has to be pure. His spirit has to be pure in order to partake of the supernatural powers that of the Panther and the other majestic the sciences out there that he inherits. He has to. You got to have a pure soul. Which is the essence of who we are, the metaphysical level of who we are, what we come from. That's in our soul music. Ivan Brother said, "Take me to the next phase. Take my soul to the next phase."
True.
That's true.
Yep.
That's very true. That's very true.
Very true.
You tell me what happened.
Okay, guys, we got about 5 minutes left, so I want some final thoughts from everyone, starting with Windwalker, and let's keep it short, guys. 5 minutes goes very fast. Hit them up, Windwalker.
Turtle Island is our motherland. The jaguar is the melanated panther as well, which is indigenous to the Americans. And it came down to the Patriot was squeezed pushed into the Super Bowl by the Jaguars, and they fell to the Eagles, which is indigenous as well. It wasn't the golden eagle, but it was still the eagle, which symbolizes us.
Good one.
All right.
Good one. Lee?
I'm just saying like this, man. I think it's a great movie because we're seen as heroes in this, but we need to stop getting it mixed up and twisted and thinking that this is so empowering because it's not.
Yes,
because the money made from this ain't going in our pocket. It's going in that white guy's pocket. And, the motherfucker who's really going to benefit is the guys at Marvel, Stan Lee, yada, yada. So, we're going to make it the biggest hero movie ever, but we're not getting shit from it. So all this stuff about, we going to come dressed in fucking African garb, looking like Prince Hakeem and yada yada. Hey, it ain't that serious. I've seen people.
It's coming, man. It's gonna happen.
It ain't that serious, man. Just
go
see it with an open mind and realize that. And when I say it's empowering to the fact of we need to see that this is what we are and what we can become. Not the financial part, because we don't have that at stake here. But by the same token, we should have more heroes. We should have a lot more heroes. We should have a lot more stories characterizing that. And remember, I told you one time, like I had an Avengers, and shit, man, they had fucking Falcon. He was bitching about, he was in the Avengers because they wanted to have him as a secondary character, as a sidekick. He wasn't playing that. You know, so that's the kind of shit that, now they got, what's the name, Anthony Mackie acting like, yes, the boss. I mean, that's the only thing he's missing from every time he talks to Captain America.
He's disgusting in that.
I mean, it's almost, yes, the boss. I mean, so we need to know that we can come up with this stuff, and we don't need to run around acting like we got to fucking run to them. We should be able to finance each other. We're going to find that out because, let's be honest, hey, we the motherfuckers that's really want to see this movie.
True that. Agreed. Right on, bro. Right on. Hey, Michael.
Right on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your final thoughts?
I'm going to say this till I'm dead and in the grave, and I'm going to say it then. This is our land. This land speaks to us, and she's waiting for us to respond back. That's all I got.
Gotcha. Hey, and that's poignant enough in the 9 words that you used.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, we're short on time.
Yes, that's true. We are short on time. We only have about 2:24, so I'm just gonna end it with this. Okay, guys, I know you're gonna go see the movies, and you should see the film. It's a good film by all accounts. Yeah. All right, and if there's anything, understand that Ryan Coogler having the chance to direct a Marvel film speaks volumes. Now, F. Gary Gray had the opportunity to do Captain America, not Civil War. Yeah, Civil War. And he turned it down to do the, what's the name movie? Dr. Dre and all them cats. Okay, well, whatever. So having the opportunity, he can't mess it up, and that's fine. That's good. But if you go to the movie, check the signs. You're going to find a lot of signs in this movie. You're going to find a lot of signs. All right, the people who are dressed like Prince Hakeem going to the movie like they came from Zamunda, they're just going to look at it in fantasy. But the movie, all movies give you signs. All directors are magicians, if you will, and they give you signs. Check the signs. What you're going to find out in this movie is Wakanda is here. We are Wakanda.
We're all Wakanda, yeah.
This is our land, okay? Vibranium, the precious minerals are here, and they're ours. All right, and we can use them like no one else can. We just have to get back into ourselves to understand that so we can work together to get it done. You're not going to get it done with I got mine, you got yours. That shit's not working. It hasn't been working since it's been heaped on us to be this way. So, keep an open mind, check the signs, enlighten yourselves, enjoy the movie, but think while you're enjoying the movie, man. While I eat my gluttonous, buttered popcorn, layered, of course. That's a very small bag. Yeah, of course. All right. I'm also gonna be checking all the in between things, and I got a feeling that this is going to be a movie that you're probably going to have to see once you've seen it once. You might going to have to go see it twice to get some of the signs that are going to come through. If I don't be surprised if Ryan Coogler doesn't throw a few curveballs in it that hit you right in your subconscious, and you won't even realize it until later. And that's all I got to say, people. And we'll be back next week. And I know not what we're going to do, but whatever it is, it's going to be funky. Until then, peace.
Peace, brother.